Today is my first day at Sponaugle, and my main complaints are nerve pain that gets so intense that I can't have even the pressure of a t-shirt on my back or my hair down. Nausea and vomiting. I'm lucky if I eat once a day and it stays down. Fatigue, which I really don't like that word, because fatigue just sounds like to me somebody that's been out working in the yard and they come in tired. To me, it's not even being able to roll over some days without help, or sit up, or go tuck my kids in the bed. So that's a big issue. And swelling and confusion. There's days when I wake up and I don't know where I am or who my mom is when she comes in the room, and it'll take me a while to reassess where I can remember what's going on. I have a hard time sometimes thinking of what I'm trying to say. I know what I want to say, but I can't think of the right word, or I can't get it from my brain to my mouth. I randomly lose my vision of the left eye when I'm stressed. My left eye will just instantly go black, and it just depends when it comes back. It has an attitude, so it comes whenever it wants to, but it comes back a lot slower than it disappears. I know I'm missing some because I have over 30 symptoms, but
okay.
Insomnia is one. If I go to bed before 2 o'clock, it's a good night, but it's typically around 4 is my magic hour that I can fall asleep. And it's not like I'm up watching movies or playing on my phone until 4. I lay in the bed from about 9 o'clock until 4, and usually 4 is when I'm able to fall asleep.
Just overall horrible health.
Just feel bad.
Top to bottom.
Okay.
Today I'm in a wheelchair because standing up, I feel like I have thousands of needles twisting in my muscles when I put pressure on my legs. I can walk today, but it hurts. It's very uncomfortable, and on top of the needle sensation, I get very tired. So I can't stand, for longer than a minute or so. And on days when I'm herxing, like when we would do Rocephin, there would be days that I would try to stand up, just being stubborn, and try to walk 12 feet from my side of the bed to the bathroom, and I would just hit the floor and not be able to get back up. So it's just easier for me to be in the chair and not have any kind of accidents and not be in as much pain to try to get from A to B.
For over a year, we had a day bed placed in front of our bed because our mattress was kind of high, and it was easier for her to access the wheelchair from the day bed. So
he would have to pick me up.
Yeah, she'd sit up, and I'd have to pick her up and set her in the chair just to go to the bathroom, pick her up and set her on the toilet, and back and forth. And
that was primarily when we first started Rocephin, and that herxing was
brutal.
I didn't think I was going to make it.
Hello everybody, I'm Pastor Philip Johnson. I'm the patient coordinator here at Sponaugle Wellness. We're so glad that you're joining in to watch this video with us. And today we have Stephanie with us. And tell us where you're from.
Georgia. We're about 45 minutes east of Atlanta.
East of Atlanta. And Georgia's a great state. I'm going to spend some time there this coming week. And we want to talk about who you were. What person you were before you came here. Let's talk about that first. You've been sick for a while.
I have. December will be 8 years that I think I got my tick bite.
Okay.
And this spring would be 8 years, marking when I had my first nerve pain.
Okay.
And that was my single symptom for about 3.5 years.
Well, explain a little more about what that was about.
I had one spot in my back that about midway through my back that would just burn like fire. Okay. And it progressively got from just burning to the point that I couldn't be hugged or touched, to the point that I couldn't have a t-shirt on or my hair down or a fan on.
My goodness.
So
did it stay localized in just one spot, or did it begin to expand?
As the years passed, it went from one spot, but it would go all the way in a circle around my body. but skip my sides.
Mm-hmm.
So it was very weird, and none of the neurologists could figure that out. But when I came here, by the time I got here, I think I had 32 symptoms. My mom kept track of that. So I came in with my husband pushing me in a wheelchair and could barely hold my head up.
Well, that's it. See, I never talked to you. I'm not sure I ever did talk to you. It was always your mother, I believe, that I talked with, because you, on most of those days, were bedridden.
Yes.
Unable to
Yes.
come to the phone. So was there other effects or other symptoms that you had or developed through that period of time?
By the time that I was considering coming here, I had been doing IV Rocephin for 19 months at home. And because I was doing it from a doctor in Orlando overseeing it, and I couldn't, you know, travel back and forth. So that shut me down, and that's what put me to be completely bedridden. I got to the point where I couldn't roll over on my own. I would have to have someone come in and roll my body over for me because it's zero strength. I couldn't communicate. Pretty much any symptom you could think of, I had before I came here.
All right. I was looking through your chart at the blood smear that would show, you know, the bugs, the biofilm, and I thought, this looks like the album cover of Jimi Hendrix in the 70s when Acid Rock Days. This is some crazy looking picture here of all the junk that
and that's my second one.
All the junk you had, biofilm and bugs, and again I have your chart in front of me, and of course confirming Lyme that you had. Do you remember back in the day, of course there was mold. You haven't talked about mold. Was that a big part of what we discovered?
Huge. I had more of an issue with my molds than we did with the Lyme. I had the tricho and the okra, and both were a very big issue for me, and I now know that my nausea and my vomiting at home were primarily from the tricho.
Yes. Yeah, and I read something, if I can find it here again, there was just a quick question here. What would you like to achieve, you know, with the help of Dr. Sponaugle? And you wrote, not to be bedridden, not in pain, not vomiting, and no more brain fog. That's what you wrote back in the day when you first came here. I know this is getting you when you think about who you were, to be held hostage by that sickness, robbing you. You've got children. Met your husband. What a great guy. You met your mother. You know, wonderful people. And not to be able to just enjoy life. And so, what do you think? Have we achieved any of those things we wrote here?
Absolutely. I am going to go home, and for the first time, December in 2 years will be the first time that I will be driving my kids to school, and I will be taking care of them.
Hallelujah. Amen.
By myself, without help. My mom was coming 5 days a week while my husband was at work and taking care of my kids. From Christmas, the day after Christmas, will be 2 years that she's been doing that. And I'm going to go home and feel 100% confident that I can be their mom now.
Wonderful. You had wrote some other things here, such as confusion and mood swings, and you had some random vision problems that happened.
I did. The confusion got very bad in the beginning of me doing the IV antibiotics at home. I have the genetics where I can't detox, so all it was doing was making me incredibly toxic, and it was messing with my brain to the point that I got up out of bed one day. That was before I got to the point that I couldn't walk at all, and I made it into the little hallway, and I looked over, and I didn't even know who my mom was. And so I was, you know, panicked and screamed and didn't know who was in my house or where I was. And there were multiple days where when I would wake up, I would look around and just be confused. I wouldn't know where I was, or, you know, what year it was, or I would look around at the pictures and I would think, okay, wait a second. That's my son, right? I'm married. When did I get married? You know, and I have to go back and try to remember. And, you know, for the most part, my brain fog is gone now. I can remember conversations that I'm having. I can remember the past. And so that, having a clear brain has been awesome. You get so used to functioning on what I would tell my doctors at home. I'm saying, I feel like I have 5% of a brain functioning. That's all I feel like I have, and nobody can understand that until you live it. But I definitely feel like that's much better.
How long has it been? I know we haven't thought about this, but you came to us in a wheelchair.
I did. A
lot of pain, a lot of suffering. And of course, there were some times during the treatment. You've been with us since the last of July. And you had some ups and downs. We got you out of the wheelchair and then back in that wheelchair and in and out. And Dr. Sponaugle just kept working. We had some great moments of prayer together to get through some of those bad times. Now, how long has it been since you got rid of that wheelchair and out of it? So we're in.
I would say my kids came in September. And I would say there's been maybe 2 days that I've used it since then, and they came the first week of September.
Okay. So most of September, all of October. We're just before Thanksgiving now. So I just bet you're glad to be away from that thing.
I am. I actually have my camera today because I wanted to take a picture outside, standing beside my chair, and have that because my husband has one. He wanted to take one when we were coming in that first day, and I want to have those side by side so I can, you know, remember and be thankful for how far I've come.
And this is certainly going to be a very thankful Thanksgiving for you all.
It is.
You're going to be going home. Well, tomorrow is your last day here with us.
Today
is your last day here with us. And I'm sure that everybody can't wait for you to get back home.
They can't. They don't know, actually.
Okay.
The only one that knows is my mom, but I'm surprising Jim and the boys coming home tomorrow.
I love that guy. He will be so happy.
He is.
I wish I was there to see all that. You know, I talk to folks on the phone and we set this up, and then we see a person, and like you, when you come in and think, wow, there's a sick girl. But look at you now.
Yes.
You look like you're ready to take the world on.
I am. When my husband and I and my parents decided for me to come here, it was a final resort for us.
Okay.
This was our last effort, and Dr. Sponaugle has taken, he knew more from my blood work before I even came than all the doctors combined in the almost 8 years, you know.
And how many doctors do you think you've seen?
He was 37.
37
doctors for me.
Oh my goodness, okay.
So, I just want to say that this is the place to be, and you're going to discover that you have so many more things probably than just Lyme.
Yes.
Like I discovered, and I was told my first day here by a patient that I don't even remember, because I don't remember much of that first week, that there's peaks and valleys here, and when you do have those low points, you just remember what you're fighting for, and it's absolutely worth it. I can stand and walk today and be proof of that it's absolutely worth it.
That is wonderful. For you folks watching this, again, I'm Pastor Philip Johnson, and we want this video to give you hope. I know you've been suffering. I know Lyme disease or mold toxin or the co-infections have left your life empty. You're held hostage by that. We see miracles here all the time, and the great staff, Dr. Sponaugle and his staff, will work endless hours to get you well. So we hope to see you here